Part of me is actually a little bit worried. I don't want to say it. I don't want to put this out into the universe. But I'm a little bit afraid to bomb, honestly. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my Provincials prep series. So this is the last update in my weekly series. It has been quite a prep. If you've been following along, there have been a lot of ups and downs. Like I mentioned last week, that is not typical for my preps, but this one's different. So I'm actually going into the meet probably the least confident that I ever have. Talk about my training this week. I think things will become clear as to why, and then I guess nothing left to do but to do it. And you know, fingers crossed, things go okay. Oh gosh. Anyway, training wise, I worked up to my opener in squats, and it was actually really cool that day because we were working out at Good Life, which is just like a commercial gym here, and the person who was working out next to me mentioned something about my suit and my wraps, and he was actually a powerlifter, or had been a powerlifter and like strongman competitor and all that stuff. So it was really, really cool. He was so encouraging, and it was just cool talking to somebody who has had similar experiences to me, and he was so encouraging. When I did my opener, he was like that's not an opener, like you should open like 20 kilos more than that. And like I don't think I was that good, but it was really, really a self-esteem boost that was much, much needed. So thank you, John, if you're watching by chance. It was really great to meet you, and thanks for that. So I worked up to my last warm-up in equipped deadlifts, and it didn't move as well as I had hoped. It was kind of jerky at the top. I'm still trying to figure out my timing in terms of locking my knees and hips through, so that like transition point is still weird, but the weight moved well, and I'm pretty sure it still would have been good in competition. There was no up and down. It was just awkward looking, but those moved okay. I think I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, maybe not during this prep series, but I had a back injury in like 2020, and squats and deadlifts had been greatly affected, but these days even the heavier weights seem to be okay, so that's good. It's so nice to not have to worry about pain when executing a lift. So with that said, that's a good transition into bench press. So this is such a bummer because I was doing so well. Like leading into this, like the past months of training were just going so well, and I was set up to hit like a huge PR. And then this shoulder injury came along, and then it seemed like it was okay, I could work through it. And then it got worse, and now it's in this shoulder also. And it's getting into my head, which is the most frustrating part of it all, probably. Well, it's all frustrating, but that is very, very frustrating. So anyway, so warm-ups for equipped bench moved really, really well. And actually I was surprised. So I mentioned that my weeks previously, my bench sets were limited to like pain max 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, right? So my sets were really, really light. Like a couple weeks ago, I wasn't even benching a full plate. Like I was benching like 95 pounds. So when I was working up to my equipped bench, I did a double at 85 kilos. So I was a little nervous as I was working up because these are heavier weights than I've touched in a while. But actually, all of the weights moved really well. There was no pain while benching, so that was great. I was slow to touch. I think I was just very tentative, very hesitant. I was worried that they would hurt. So the descent, the eccentric part was really slow, but the press actually moved way better than I had anticipated. So that was very good. I was very happy about that. So positives. The not so, actually, let's continue with positives. So I got into my shirt. It didn't hurt to be in the shirt. Like previously, like just being in the shirt was like, this hurts. but no, it was okay. So yay. I did a couple reps to a 2 board and those were fine. I did a rep to a 1 board, moved fine. Did a rep to a half board, totally fine. And so I'm like, okay, things are on track. This is not hurting me. I am strong enough. And then I got to touches. So I had hoped to touch 130, which had been my planned opener. It's not anymore. So during the touch, it was very, very difficult to touch. And watching my video over, I think I was sort of touching a little bit too low, like with the bar too close to my belt. And I hope that's the reason I didn't get a whole lot of spring out of it. When I rewatched the video, I think my butt came up. It was just not a good lift, and it was very, very hard. Way harder than an opener should be. So I talked to Natalie about it, and we're gonna drop my opener, 125. Just, that is something I should be able to hit, to open, and then make the jumps to what I hope to achieve on my 3rd. So tempering the expectations, hoping that I'm able to perform. Like 130, really, that should fly. That should not be hard. Like, it looked almost like a max effort during training. So hoping to pull this all together. Like I said, it was my first day benching heavy again after a couple weeks of just benching really, really light, and it didn't hurt. So that's promising. I'm very hesitant because, in part because of the training went so not ideally, but also later that day or later that night and the next day, this shoulder started hurting too. And this shoulder hurts just as much, if not more, than this one now. And I don't know. I think theoretically being in this shirt should help my shoulders. I don't think I was like way off in terms of obviously compensating for this shoulder this time. But obviously my body is just not having it. It's just not there. And I think part of the problem is also just my brain. You know, part of this training, this max 2 out of 10, max 3 out of 10, I've just been so hyper aware of pain and like noticing, okay, when does it hurt? When is it gonna hurt? Okay, how much does it hurt? And just having that, just being so cognizant of it, I think is not good. It is holding me back. And then I think an equipped bench, just because it had been so long, and I was surprised that it didn't hurt. I was surprised that nothing that day hurt while I was doing it. And I think I was just being extra cautious. And this was not a conscious thought, but I think subconsciously I was afraid to touch. So I am working on that this week. I need my confidence back more than anything. You know, leading into a meet, I know this is just for fun. This is just provincials. I just need to really show up. There's no competition in my weight class, or in any weight class actually, because I am the only equipped lifter. I'm the only equipped female lifter in this whole competition, and I'm already qualified for nationals, so I don't need this competition for anything except that, like, this is my goal. I've been working toward this for the past 8+ weeks. This is likely my only competition this year unless I decide to do Westerns in September, but I want to do well, and I want to show what my training has achieved, because I think we've done some really, really good things, not just in terms of bench, but definitely in terms of squats and deadlifts. Like, I am planning on blasting past my previous PRs, so I want the chance to do that on the platform. But my bench is like my thing, and you know, part of me is actually a little bit worried. I don't want to say it, I don't want to put this out into the universe, but I'm a little bit afraid to bomb, honestly. And you know, I think dropping the opener is a safe bet. You know, if worst comes to worst during warm-ups, if I'm just like not having it, or if my shoulders are just like screeching in pain, I can always just bench raw, you know, not put my shirt on, just do something light just to not hurt myself. But I just want the opportunity to show my hard work on the platform, and I have some people coming to watch, and not that that's a whole lot of extra pressure. I mean, it is, but I know that they are there to support me, like, regardless. But, you know, I want to put on a performance. I want to put on a show. So, just doing what I can this week. I am taking probably too many ibuprofens, taking some muscle relaxants just to prevent them from spasming. I'm trying to get my rest. I'm eating enough. I have some training coming up this next week before the meet. It's relatively light, but I am going to push my bench just a little bit just to get past that mental block, I hope. Like, I just want to get it in my head that I am strong. I have not lost all my strength, not to be afraid of touching the bar to my chest. And I'm going to really hope that carries through to quit bench on Sunday. So that is my update for her this week. If you have followed along this whole Provincials prep series, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for following along. Thank you for your support. I will put the live stream link in the description. It's through Twitch, which is not my favorite, just because it disappears after. It's not like YouTube where you can just put the video online after. But it is what it is. I don't know how good the live stream quality is going to be. Hopefully pretty good. The Alberta Powerlifting Union generally does a pretty nice job. So if you are watching this and you would like to follow along on Sunday, I lift at 8 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Time, and I will be back to give you a full recap after the meet. Hopefully I have some excellent news for you all. And if you like the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more, including that promised recap. And I will see you all after the meet. Bye!